Hi there, it's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Was going to do a video on the banning today, as I'm trying to steady the camera. But I thought we would do this double feature. This one came in all bent up, so we could draft with it. But I thought I'd just actually open this one up and see what we have. So far, I've not been impressed with the arts in here. Like it has the same problem that Commander Legends does. Zach helps me open it with a key. Here, I got it. It's fine. We're special here. There's a lot. Maybe we'll see some of the cards, but we opened up a pack because there was another box that came in. We had to check for like damage on the cards because this just came up crushed. We opened them up and there was a bunch of these cards that were just so super cloudy. Not even foils, just the regular cards. You could barely even read the text. So hopefully we don't have those type of cards in this particular box, but I don't know. I don't know what the hype is for this set. All it is just 2 rares and different artwork, but it's like the artist concept stuff that no one really liked from Modern Horizons. Those are the least valuable cards from Modern Horizons. Yeah, they had the colorless ones, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a box opening here and see what we get. So, first pack here. So there is going to be 1 foil, I believe. So you get a foil in the back. And they have this, kind of have the land foiling, or the land bordering with the cards here. But, yeah, see if I can get it to focus there. Kind of cool there. But this one doesn't seem too cloudy. Hopefully we got a good box here. But again, we saw some of them with the text that was just super dark. Maybe we'll come across some of them. All right, so we'll kind of go through the arts here. We're just kind of looking at the arts because everyone should know the set by now of them. So, I mean, kind of cool. I would have preferred coloring on these cards. I don't know, or something different besides just the borders. And so it looks like this, yeah, there's some of these with the, okay, the white border has just the white there. Artifact looks kind of cool. Faithless Mending. That's a good one. Dissipate. The Lancer. And the Cadet. And, oh, first pack. We get the Teferi, who slows the sunset. But I mean, like, super dark coloring on there. You can barely even tell any detail on that card. And then we also have the Ill-Tempered Loner. So, I believe you can, get Commander cards? This was a card from Commander, or was this not a card from Commander? It says 429. Someone in the comment section let me know, because I don't remember this card being in the set. So I think it does come first. So what is this, like almost like a draft slash set booster slash, there isn't unique cards in this, right? Right? 429? Oh, no. This goes up to 459. I'm just, yeah, they put the 2 sets together. I think that was too high, but why don't I remember this card from the set? All right, enough rambling here. We'll kind of get through this here and showcase some of the cards. So I don't think I'll have any of these available for patrons, unfortunately. We only got 12 boxes total. I'm opening 1. We opened up another one just to check the damage and have some packs for sale here. So it gives us 10 to work with drafts. So we'll see if any more come available. We'll definitely let patrons buy them. But for now, we do not. That's kind of a cool Evolving Wilds. We do not have any available. These were super low supply. I guess that's kind of what's showing the prices. What are these going for? The boxes like $240? I think I saw, which is a pretty good margin. So I think distributor cost these like $145 is how much we paid for it. Galvanic Iteration was a good card until today when the bannings happened. So unfortunately, this card's not going to be as good with the Take Extra Turn. And we have the Maniform Hellkite and an Immolation as the foil. So maybe I will sort the rares out here. The rares and mythics can go in a pile. We can look at them at the end and see what we come up with. Still be interesting in the prices of these cards. I actually don't think they're going to be worth that much. Because it's just another version of a card. There's so many versions already of, and specialty versions. Unless people really like these borders, I am not sure that they're going to hold much more value than the originals. So we have the Vanquish the Horde and Anji, Made of Dishonor. Was I go off the screen there? And a Snarling Wolf. See how cloudy? Like that's so super dark. The camera's not picking up as bad as the. Like it actually shows up pretty good here with all the lighting, but when you look at it, look at the mana symbol there too. There was a couple packs too. It was just that's how these were. So far not impressed with this. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna kind of go through these, and should be fun to draft though, because there's going to be, it's just basically mashing together 2 sets. Kind of wish they would have taken the good and the bad, or taken the good and taken the bad out, like a lot of the filler, and then it would have been a higher caliber set, but as far as I know, they combined the two sets, right? I really should research these products before I open them. Catilda Dawnheart Prime, very good commander. Really fun commander. And Dying to Serve, I think this is a trap card in draft and stuff. It just doesn't get a lot of value. I mean, there can be times where you do get a lot of value with blood tokens and stuff, but man, it takes a while for this to really start gaining the value with only being able to get once per turn trigger on these. And we have the Weary Prison. See how dark that is? I don't know if that's coming. Look how cloudy and dark that is, that foil. You can barely see the artwork. It's even worth anything in these set. What are we looking for? Like Meat Massacre? I think that's the expensive card. I only think the Dragon I opened was worth anything. All right, we've kind of seen enough of these. Oh, that's a cool Morbid Opportunist. That's a cool card. Kind of like the purple for the black. Then we have the Croaking counterpart. Cool card. And hey, look at that. It wants us to play Froggies here. And the Grolnuk the Omnivore. So we get both the frogs. And again, look at that foil. Super cloudy and dark. Okay. Start off with Memory Deluge. That's a good one. I do like the blue too. The blue into the teal. It's kind of cool on these. Then Giralth Visionary Stitcher. And are a lot of these coming up like the same colors? So blue. No, okay. I thought there might have been some theme to it, but these packs just end up... Because this is still, you just pick the one, right? You don't pick two rares. How are they do in the draft? You don't pick two and then pass it. You just pick the one. It's not like Commander Legends, or what was the set that they had you pick two, or is it Double Masters draft? They had you pick two at the very first because people didn't want to fill a bad scenario where they opened up two money rares and had to pass one of them. But if you are local, we are going to be drafting this weekend, 2 days from now. So come down and we're going to draft this set. Augur of Autumn, that's one of the cards we're looking for. Pretty sweet. And Welcoming Vampire, one of my favorite cards to draft. Just such a powerhouse. Pretty good in certain decks right now, standard as well. Hey, we get a triple rare pack with our first foil rare with Triskaidekaphile. On to the next pack. Let's go right to the good stuff. We have a Poppet Stitcher, another mythic. And the Sundown Pass, again, really dark artwork. And a Brinecomer, probably my favorite card, my favorite archetype to draft. Kind of the blue white auras. Not the best archetype, but it's fun to draft for sure. For sure. Alrighty. Ooh, got a Dreadhound. That's a pretty sought-after card. And Reckless Stormseeker, another great rare. Really good rare here. And the Deathclap Glade. And Scattered Thoughts is the foil. Alrighty. Next up, we have a Curse of Silence. Look at that guy. He is silenced. The painting is. And our next mythic was the Aver Caretaker. This is such a bomb. This is something I want to be pack one, pick one-ing. And the Persistent Specimen. Next up, what we got? We have Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephalia. And an Odric the Blood Curse. Womp womp. This card ended up being kind of wompy. And the Unnatural Moonrise. Again, you can see kind of that mana symbol that's really faded on these foils. Alrighty. So, let's get on to the good stuff, the Intrepid Adversary. So, this card is a standard power. It still should be. Banning of the Faceless Haven is going to hurt this deck because it doesn't give it the range now. Just activate a 4/3. Now they're going to have to rely on the other Manland, the 3/4 flyer, which costs a couple more mana, but it's still pretty good. And the Graph Reaver with the Flare of the Faith. There you go. There's a perfect one. I can't even tell what's going on in that. The camera is not blurry. That is exactly how the artwork looks to the eye, to the naked eye. It's very, very tough to see what's going on with these foils. Next up, we have the Denic Pious Apprentice. Pretty cool one. And Ascended Pack Leader. Good doggo. And a Curse of Surveillance. There's another foil rare that we're able to pull. Next up, we have the Slogark, the Overslime, the Wing Portent, and oops, those are rares. Could put them in a rare pile. And the Tireless Hauler. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Okay, so I almost bent a card there while opening the pack. Ooh, that ominous looks cool. That one does look cool. That moon just pops out. All right, some of these are kind of cool. I'll quit being such a negative Nancy. We have the Burn Down the House. The Runo Stormkirk, a card that I tried to make work, but this card is so awkward. And there you go. There's another one. See how, look at that. Look how faded. Look how faded that is. I can barely, and this is where it actually even affected the text. You can barely read the text. It's hard to read this card because it's so faded. So that's something that got past quality control on those. All right. Maybe these last packs too, we'll do some pack one pick ones and see what I'd pick out of it. If you're just picking the one card out of it, then we have the Haunted Ridge and the Citizen Uprising with the Bat Whisperer. And most of these mechanics do work together, like the Exploit works really well with the Decay tokens. So it should be a fun set too. I wish they'd do this more with, like, that's what I said instead of theme boosters. What they should be doing is like a jumpstart type set for every set release that has a, like when you're revisiting a plane, and just like call it like Revisited or Planar or something. So they could have done it with Zendikar and then printed cards out of Zendikar in that had mechanics. I mean, Landfall is a mechanic that's been in most of them. They could have done that with I mean, theme boosters are such a waste of a product. They're just, you can't get a foil, you can't get anything special out of them. You just get a bunch of random cards in the color. Such a boring product. They're Restless Bloodseeker, so Overcharged Amalgam and the Sludge Monster. That'd be a kind of tough pack one, pick one. I think the Sludge Monster over it. Okay. Let's get down to business. The Tainted Adversary and the Wolvenwald Oddity. That'd be another hard pack one, pick one. I think I'd go with the... I think I'd go with the Oddity over the Tainted Adversary. Maybe we'll do this. Let's do this with these other packs here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I'm going to do 2 more packs, and we'll do 4 packs of what I pack one, pick one, and see if you guys agree or disagree with me on that. So we have a Champion of the Perished and a Hiveheart Shaman and a Supernatural Rescue. Again, look at that. Look at that. What's going on there? It's just blurry. Okay, we got a Dire Strain Rampage and a Cemetery Desecrator. This is such a powerhouse too. Love drafting this card. And a Brutal Thar, so another rare. Foil rare. No, do we get a foil mythic? I don't believe yet. Just a bunch of foil rares. All right, so let's do a pack one, pick one for this. All right, so first of all, the Ritual Guardian. Highly doubt this will be a pack one, pick one. 3/2 that can get lifelink. It's middle of the, like, this is where you're picking late pack. Dual Dominance actually is a really good card because it can give a +1 counter and fight for 2 mana. I mean, Wolf Strike is super powerful, and I actually think Dual Dominance is more powerful than Wolf Strike. I know Wolf Strike doesn't have to fight, but oftentimes you're in green, your creatures are bigger than your opponents anyway. So the upside of having +1 counter permanently, I think is, and yeah, 1 less mana I think is pretty decent for this card. The Organ Hoarder is good. This is like a good filler card. Like you start picking these up, you know, 5th, 6th. Famished Forge is okay. It's again in like the Ritual Guardian slot. I actually like the Bloodcrazed Socialite. It's like an Organ Hoarder. These are ones you want to be looking for, but you don't pick them up quick. Same thing with Syncopate. Syncopate's like in this pile. Vampire Slayer is really filler. It's your 22 through 20 through 23 slot oftentimes. I actually put Pyre Spawn in this category too, the 6/4 for 6 mana. It's just not what Red wants to be doing at that point. I mean, it's okay. The Ritual of Hope. can be good in the right deck. I think this one actually goes better when you mix the sets, because there are ways with blue now to add a bunch of tokens with like the brine, whatever it's called, and this is actually pretty decent to give everything +2/+1 instant speed. So this is like one of these situational cards. You don't ever, pack one, pick it. Foul Play's okay. It can be super good with the card advantage with killing something and investigating, but it's like more in this pile too. So Screaming Swarm is another one that's like, it's good. A lot of the games do end up in these matchups do end up with like board states that are stalled, and this can help you not mill as quickly, I guess, with the Screaming Swarm, because you can put it back on your library, and you can also start milling your opponent. But again, I'd actually even put it in this like pile here. Blizzard Watcher, this is actually a very good card. So I'd say that this so far is the second best card. So Blizzard Watcher, it can ping down things. When this sucker gets late game, when it gets flipped, it also has a cool combo with the Scorpion, where you can give it Death Touch, and then late game you can actually shoot some things down. All right, but now we get in the juicy stuff. So we have a bomb right off the bat with the Tovolar's Huntmaster. There's very few rares that are actually better than this card for picking, because of just the amount of pressure that this puts. It almost feels like a Chariot in draft, and you get the 2/2/2s and a 6/6 for 6 mana. And then when it flips, it's even bigger into a 7/7. And then when it attacks, you can start putting out more and then have other wolves fight. So it's very, very powerful. It's where you want to be on the curve with green. And we also have the Change of Fortune. So this is actually one of the rares that is very lackluster. This is a card that, a lot of times you have to already have enough cards to enable this, and it's not the greatest at that point. So yeah, Change of Fortune is very, very low down on the list. And then our foil Livis Midnight Ambush, actually I'd put, it's actually one of the removal spells like meh, because it doesn't hit enough things unless you can actually turn day to night, night to day pretty easily with your deck. But oftentimes I've drafted this in like white-black, and it's just like you never even turn it to day or night, and your opponent's not either. So it's just -2, -2 for 2 mana. And there's a lot of 3 toughness cards that are problematic cards in this format that are just heavily played. So again, I'd put it like probably here. So this one's an easy pack. It'd be Tovolar's Huntmaster would be the pick. And then like Ballista Watcher, I'd pick second. Duel of Dominance would be my third pick for this one. I don't know, depending on these ones. That's just kind of how I feel about some of these cards. But of course, this rare is just very, very. It's one of those lackluster ones to try to be going into. All right, so this one. Analysis for this one. The Cultist is good with an exploit deck. Way to actually advantage out of it. Search Party Captain, I actually like this card a lot. It's one of those mid picks. Path of Festival, it's an awkward card. You're ramping from 3 to 5, and then it can then ramp and then ramp itself again. But it's very, very awkward. This is a very aggressive format. You need to be dealing with bears, and really this is a curve format too. Both of the Innistrads had a lot of curve, where you're just trying to curve out. And you need to actually stop those type of curve out, because both the red-black strategy, Midnight Hunt, and the Gruul strategy, the Werewolf strategy, are both very big curves, and even the black-green. So this is just off, like you're messing up your curve and your ability to. I mean, people are like, well, you can ramp into something like a what's the Bramble Worm or something, but I don't like the path. I think it's a trap card, unless you're really into like a 3-color deck. The Bait Hook Angler is actually really good for Disturb, for the exploits. And then it disturbs back into a flyer, so you get value off of it. It's like right on par with the Novice Occultist. Wolfstrike, very, very good card. So this is the best one so far. You want removal. This is a good premier removal spell. +2/+0 if it's night, plus you have a creature just deal damage. Any Death Toucher then becomes just a removal spell with it. Instant speed is really good too, because it can use the combat trick. Phalanx, there are some combos with it, but this is something you only pick up if you need them. I actually like Chill the Grave. I think it worked better in Midnight Hunt than it did, or in Midnight Hunt than it did in Crimson Vow, because the kind of blue spells tempo worked a lot better in that format than it did in it. But so it's gonna be interesting how powerful this can be in this format. But I put this like a Search for Captain power level. Not a big fan of the Honored Heirloom. It can exile cards, it can fix you, but you're only be picking up if you need to fix. The Ambusher is very, very tough to make it work unless you have a lot of vampires, and even at that point, it can be very lackluster, because oftentimes you don't get a full vampire deck. So it's okay though, it's fine. Moonsilver Key, yeah, it's just commander card. The Griffwing Cavalry can be very, very strong in the right deck. Strongest probably in a green-white deck. But it's and green-black, it's pretty decent too to start training and give it stuff flying. So not a bad card either. But I still wouldn't think it's as good as the Wolfstrike. Undead Butler, again, is a situational card. If you're in exploit or in this sort of stuff, this is what you want to be picking these up. You want to give them a lot of love and attention to picking them up pretty early, but I'd put it in this pile again. Okay, the Geistwave Reservoir. This one's kind of awkward. It can be very good. I actually think this one would have worked better in Crimson Vow than it did in Midnight Hunt, because there is a lot of spells in red, like the rest. What's the basically exile 2 cards from your top of your library. You can play them to their next turn. You also have the cantrip red spell. So this one's actually kind of cool. But this is another one that's hard to pack one, pick one, because you don't know. It's not something you can just slot in any red deck. So like the Wolf Strike, it's going to go in any green deck. So far I'd actually put it lower, and I'd actually would say Wolf Strike is better than Concealing Curtains as well. It's 0 for 1 mana. You can get a card out of their hand and turn it into 3/4. But I actually don't think it's as powerful as a Wolf Strike. So I'd actually pack one, pick one, a Wolf Strike here over the other cards here. So, and then we have a Nature's Embrace, which is kind of a trap card. Again, it's a 3 mana ramp. It's kind of awkward on the curve. You can use the +2/+2, but meh. That's very meh. Alrighty. As my dog tries to ruin my set. Buttons, calm down. I don't know if you guys have met Buttons. I got a puppy over the summer, and now he is a young man, and he's hyper at night. He gets the zoomies. So he's in here trying to bug me. Alrighty. So we got this pack. One more pack after this. Geistwave is fine. It's okay. It's actually not that bad to return one of your cards and draw a card off of it. You also can bounce an opponent's. It's fine in a tempo strategy. Burn the Curse is really good. Quite good removal spell at 5 mana. We have the Dire of Horde, which is fine too. You get 2 decays at 3/4. Jack-o'-lantern, dependent. It's more of like a sideboard card, filler card. On the Heron Blessed Geist is kind of weird too. You have to have an enchantment to really make this guy worth it. I would put it kind of in the same category as a Geistwave. It's fine. A Lash Flesh I do like less than Burn of the Cursed. It's like unparalleled with the Dire of Horde. Mulch is cool if you can actually get the blue-green strategy, but you don't pick them up early. Binding Geist is okay. Kind of this slot here. The Trope is okay too. It can be really good if you can get the Coven off of. It's actually, I'd put it in this pile here, actually, the Burn the Accursed. The Survivor, when it transforms, it actually is pretty good because you can start returning things. But I don't know where I'd put it on the list here. Yeah, probably like here-ish. Wizard, I do like the Whispering Wizard. It's a great card in the spells, and it's also good with flying. You can get this to trigger quite easily. Makes it like cards like Geistwave a lot better. I'd actually pick it over these other two. I don't know. The Contortus Trope would be good too. We have a Sanguine Statuette. Can be very, very powerful in the right decks, but this isn't something you pick early. Storm of the Festival is just a boss of a card. You get a lot of value out of it, and then it has a flashback is exactly what you want to be doing in draft. Very, very strong card. Lantern Flare is good too. Lantern Flare is fine to pick in white because it can deal X damage to target creature Planeswalker, where a number of creatures you control for 2 mana, and the cleave is really good too, and you're actually gaining life. But again, I wouldn't pack one, pick one. I do like Lantern Bearer. It's a very, very powerful card, but I put it here. So I take the Storm Festival, of course, in this one, and then probably the Whispering Wizard or the Lantern Flare after that. Last pack. Okay, Candlegrove Witch. I actually don't like this card. It's kind of hard to make it work. It's a 2/2 bear, though. It's fine. Return to Nature, Cyber card. Startle is okay. It's really good in like decay strategies because you can slow your opponent down. You get a 2/2 decay, you get -2, -0, and you get a draw card. Again, this I think would be a lot better. Well, you did use the decay feature quite a bit in Midnight Hunt, but this is pretty good in Crimson Vow too with the spells. The Ruffian, kind of a filler card with the werewolves. Gluttonous Guess is fine, and there's a couple strategies with the toughness strategy and the just life gain strategy and the Blood Token strategy, so it's mid-level pick. Siphon Essence is kind of a trap card because you have to hold up mana on that Piddle turn 3. I do not like this card. I think a lot of times you get stuck in your hand. Fierce Retribution's fine, great removal spell. Valor Celebrant is one of the better cards, one of the best cards in as far as the commons are concerned. 2 blood tokens, 4/4 menace for 5 mana. Super solid. Dawnbreaker's fine too. I actually like this card so far the best. Dagger of Rebirth, just such a powerhouse. You can return 2 creatures for 1. And actually the spell gets reduced quite easily with big trades. So I actually like this card a lot. Arm of the Cathars is quite weird. You have to have enough targets to actually make this worthwhile. Dormant Grove, one of my favorite cards to draft. I highly, highly like this card. I actually think I'd pick it over anything right now. Weightless Slaughter is okay. Choose up 2 target creature cards in your graveyard, and opponent chooses 1, returns that card, and then gets exiled. But it's just this strictly worse, in my opinion, than the Diregraph Rebirth. And old Rusty, I like him, but you don't know if you're going to be in those colors. I think I just take the Dormant Grove here over this one, because this is just such a solid card. Once it flips, it turns into gives your creatures vigilance, which is super good and limited. So I took a lot of green cards. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of going green. It's not my favorite in those strategies, but I don't know. It's pretty good. These packs, at least for the green cards that we would have picked up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are in the area, come and join us for the draft this Saturday, I believe. Yeah, can't remember what time. We'll have to look at the schedule. Anyway, this has been Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.